Picture this, a sprawling 42-acre ranch, my slice of paradise at the edge of a quiet wooded valley, far from the chaos of city life or the suffocating grip of an overzealous HOA. That was the dream I chased when I bought this land. A place to raise cattle, soak in the silence, and live free from nosy neighbors and their endless rules. I could already see it, my barn going up, fences stretching across the rolling hills, solar panels gleaming under the sun. Everything was set for a peaceful life, or so I thought. But Willow Heights, a glitzy HOA development just over the ridge, had other plans. They didn't just cross a line. They bulldozed right through it, paving a road across my property without so much as a phone call. This is the story of how I fought back, turned their arrogance into a field of wildflowers, and made sure they'd never set foot on my land again. If you're loving this tale of defiance, make sure to check out my YouTube channel MidnightTales for more stories of standing up to the man. It all started 6 months ago when I closed on this beautiful ranch. The deed was mine, the land zoned agricultural, and the county records showed a clear boundary between my property and Willow Heights. Their manicured lawns and cookie-cutter houses stopped right at my fence line, and I was fine with that. I got to work building my dream posts for fences, laying the foundation for a barn, setting up solar panels to keep things off. Everything was above board, every permit in place, every inch of the land legally mine. The valley was quiet, the kind of quiet that makes you feel like you're the only soul for miles. I'd wake up to birdsong, not bulldozers. That is, until one morning when the ground shook with the rumble of heavy machinery. I stepped outside, coffee in hand, and followed the noise to the south edge of my property. What I saw made my jaw drop. Graders, asphalt trucks, and a crew paving a sleek, black road straight through my lower pasture. 500 feet of my land, sliced open like a wound, connecting Willow Heights subdivision to the county road beyond. A shiny new sign stood proudly at the edge. Community Emergency Exit Route, Willow Heights, HOA. No warning, no permission, no easement, nothing. I thought it had to be a mistake. Maybe they'd misread a map or crossed a boundary by accident, but the sign told a different story. This was deliberate. My blood boiled as I stood there, staring at the asphalt scar cutting through my grass. If you've ever had someone trample on what's yours, you'll want to hear how this unfolds. Subscribe to MidnightTales on YouTube for more real-life battles like this. I drove straight to the county clerk's office. My deed and property, records in hand. The clerk confirmed what I suspected. No easement existed, no construction permits had been filed, and no public right-of-way had ever been approved through my land. The HOA had no legal leg to stand on. Armed with this, I fired off a letter to Willow Heights Board, demanding answers. The response came from their president, Karen, and it was a masterclass in entitlement. Her letter claimed they'd built the road under emergency community rights to ensure safe exit routes in case of natural disasters. She had the audacity to say that blocking their road would endanger lives, painting me as the villain if I dared to protect my own property. No apology, no offer to make things right, just a smug assumption that their needs trumped my rights. I wasn't having it. If you're as fed up with overreaching HOAs as I am, head over to MidnightTales on YouTube and join the conversation. My next move was simple but bold. I called my fencing contractor and had 12-foot steel gates installed at both ends of their illegal road, each one locked tight and flanked by signs that read, "No trespassing, private ranch land." For good measure, I added motion-activated cameras on nearby trees, pointed right at the gates. I wasn't just drawing a line. I was building a fortress. Within 24 hours, the HOA's response arrived not with a handshake or an apology, but with legal papers. They were suing me for interference with community safety, violation of emergency access laws, and get this, aggressive fencing behavior. Yes, they actually called my gates aggressive. I couldn't believe the nerve, but I was ready to fight. If you want to see how this courtroom showdown played out, check out MidnightTales on YouTube for the full scoop. Court day arrived, and I came prepared. My lawyer and I walked in with a stack of evidence. The original land deed, county GIS maps showing the clear boundary, records proving no permits or easements existed, and drone footage capturing the HOA's construction crew starting on their land and illegally crossing onto mine. The judge didn't mince words. He turned to the HOA's attorney and asked, "Did your client seek or obtain permission before constructing this road?" The attorney stammered. There was an assumption of implied consent due to community need. The judge shut that down fast. "Implied consent is not legal permission," he said, his voice like a gavel. The case was dismissed. But he didn't stop there. He ruled that Willow Heights was in violation of trespass, unlawful development, and property damage laws. The hammer fell hard. They had to remove the road at their own expense, pay me $185,000 in damages, issue a formal written apology, and best of all, was granted legal authority to permanently bar any Willow Heights member from setting foot on my land again. If you're cheering for justice like I was, swing by MidnightTales on YouTube and share your own stories of sticking it to the system. But I didn't just stop at winning in court. I decided to make a statement. Instead of letting the HOAs away quietly, I hired a crew to rip up their asphalt, level the ground, and transform that 500-foot stretch into a vibrant wildflower field. Poppies, lupins, and daisies now sway where their road once stood. At the edge, I put up a new wooden gate with a sign that reads, "Former Road to Nowhere, HOA, not welcome." It's a daily reminder to Willow Heights that they picked the wrong rancher to mess with. The fallout for them was glorious. 19 homeowners turned on their own board, suing them for misusing funds on this fiasco. Karen, the board president, resigned in disgrace. Their emergency exit project was scrapped, and their HOA insurance premiums tripled because of the lawsuit. One board member even left me a voicemail, whining, "We didn't know you were going to fight this hard." I didn't bother calling back. The wildflowers blooming where their road used to be. That's my reply. Want to see pictures of this field and hear more about this victory? Head to MidnightTales on YouTube and subscribe for the visuals. The signs on my ranch now tell the whole story. Private property, no easements, no exceptions. They're not just warnings. They're a declaration that this land defends itself, legally and permanently. Willow Heights thought they could steamroll me with their money and their so-called community needs. They thought a few bulldozers and a fancy letterhead would make me roll over. They thought wrong. This isn't their subdivision with its clip, lawns, and petty rules. This is a ranch, my ranch, and I'll protect it with everything I've got. If you're as fired up about this as I am, check out MidnightTales on YouTube for more stories of standing your ground. Looking back, this wasn't just about a road. It was about respect or the lack of it. Willow Heights didn't see me as a person with rights. They saw my land as an obstacle to their grand plans. They figured they could bend the law to fit their needs, that I'd be too tired or too broke to fight back. But I wasn't just fighting for my land. I was fighting for the principle that no one, not an HOA, not a corporation, not anyone gets to take what's yours without a fight. The wildflower field is my victory lap, a symbol that you can push back against those who think they're above the rules. Every time I walk that pasture and see those flowers, I'm reminded that standing up for what's right is worth it. If this story resonates with you, swing by MidnightTales on YouTube and let me know how you fought your own battles. This whole saga taught me something else. 2. HOAs like Willow Heights thrive on intimidation, but they crumble when you shine a light on their overreach. The residents who sued their board, they're proof that even within their own ranks, people are fed up with power-hungry leaders like Karen. The tripled insurance premiums, that's the cost of their arrogance. And the canceled emergency exit, that's what happens when you build your plans on someone else's land without asking. I hope Willow Heights learned their lesson, but I'm not holding my breath. What I do know is that my ranch is mine, now and forever, and no HOA will ever change that. If you want to keep up with stories of defiance and victory, head over to MidnightTales on YouTube and join the community. So here I am, back to my quiet mornings. Cattle grazing, my barn taking shape under the wide open sky. The valley is peaceful again, no bulldozers in sight, but I'm keeping those cameras on, those gates locked, and those signs up, just in case anyone else gets any bright ideas. This ranch isn't just land, it's a stand, and if anyone tries to cross it again, they'll get the same fight Willow Heights did. For more tales of grit and triumph, check out MidnightTales on YouTube, where I share stories of holding the line against those who think they can take what's not theirs.